Also the Mercedes actually, because I think they're gonna revert back to their silver arrow colors, which I'm not a fan of. I hope not. That'll just make me hate the team more. If anything, please don't do that.
I think it's slightly too late, Sarang, for you to ask them not to do that. We are your hosts, folks. If you've missed us, I am Akash.
And I'm Sarang.
And this is the first bite that we get into mid-season about 5 liveries that we bring to you. Haas, Red Bull, Alpha Tauri, Aston Martin, Mclaren. I don't know which one you are going first. Sarang, pick one. Let's start.
Let's start with my favorite team, Haas, of course.
Sure.
So, of course, Haas being Haas had a very virtual launch and they didn't really show their car. So everybody was really confused. They showed some pictures, which basically everybody is saying is nothing but just the stock car, which is modified a little. So I think it seems to me like Haas didn't do their homework, and that's why they went in first just to, try to push the guilt away.
Did they not do their homework or work in general? Because the part that I'm curious about is like going into 2021, those guys were like, oh, you know what, we are already working on 2022, so we don't care what happens this season. And what was the work? Did they have like a 15-year-old kid just like painting the car and preparing themselves for this digital
man? I feel like you're calling me out at what I do at work.
Hey, at least the kid who's just painted stencils over the concept car, good job there. At least
yeah,
it looks not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's a white car and
with the Russian
some text on it. Yep. Not much to talk there. Yeah, nice regardless. But I think there's some other changes going on, right, at us, other than the car, which isn't really changing. But director. The technical director. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know much about this.
No, it's just a line on in the blip of news that happens. Technical director Simon Resta, who's an Italian Ferrari man through and through. I mean, I think he spent a better part of more than a decade at Ferrari.
Wow.
Probably I think you were mentioning this. Probably this is part of some Ferrari Haas partnership.
Right. And now I recall what I was talking about. But Ferrari and Haas, basically, Ferrari is trying to groom Haas into their B team. So like they are, providing some help to them. I think they also have.
If they just need Mick, they can take him. They don't need to convert Haas to a Ferrari team to take Mick. Go on.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But I think this is basically probably just a part of that deal to bring in some knowledge into their B team as well. So yeah, let's see if that kind of helps Haas, if at all. For Mick's sake, and I hope that they improve at least a little and are at least in some contention this year. So yeah.
Hey, Steiner saying both of their drivers are going to compete for points this season. So I have the same crazy prediction.
For a second, I thought you're going to say they're going to compete for podiums, and I was going to say, wow, really?
Yeah, they do. And once Steiner is asleep, I think they do compete for podiums. Where other 18 drivers are not on the track. It's just those two driving, and yeah, it happens sometimes. But moving on. I mean, personally, I'm not too. The livery we don't see much. Nothing's happening there. It's the same car, Russian flag, as we've said earlier. So nothing more to talk about there. Moving on to the next one. What's coming out of the hat? Next one.
The hat. Let's see. Let's go with the last year's winner, right? Mr.
Sure.
Max Verstappen's team.
Sure. Sure. I think they need a new creative designer or whatever that title is. Dude, play with some colors, man. Play with some colors.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, it's nice. I'm still am a sucker for that livery, very honestly. The matte paint really looks nice and everything, but come on, change it up a little at least. Even Mercedes, okay, who were well known for not changing their livery at all, did something different with their black car. You won the championship last year. Do mix it up a little. Like, I don't know.
I agree. I would have loved to see they tweaked and they sort of like teased us with this white livery as part of the Japanese Grand Prix that was going to happen but didn't, sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I was for one like hoping to see some sort of a flavor there with that, but yeah, the same old.
Yep. Though regardless, I think as soon as when the launch happened, I texted you saying that I hate this. Why are they doing the same livery again and again? But I think it did grow on me a little later on. Like I like the way they have used yellow. I mean, even the previous year's car was the same, but the way the nose looks now, the way the nose melds into the front wing now, I really like how it looks overall, and still awesome.
True. What's interesting coming out of these liveries, and we have another example going in this episode, are these grills or air ducts or whatever that's ported on top. Like some of these top views have these grilled bars that you started seeing, and Red Bull has like the latter half of its body grilled. It's going to be interesting to see because not all teams are playing with this grill. At least like the digitized version of Haas didn't have it. And then the other liveries, except Aston Martin in today's episode, also don't have it. So I'd be curious to see how those grills sort of end up playing a role in air ducting and, air flows and all of the engineering things that they would have thought behind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, so check this out. So hang on. For folks on audio, obviously you can't see what I'm sharing with Saran, but go on Google and check out Red Bull's livery. Type in Red Bull 2022 livery, and in the top view, right behind the cockpit on both ends, sports like a grill out duct.
I see what you're talking
sort of
about.
Thing. And Aston Martin does the same. So let's pick Aston Martin next after we are done pouring our thoughts on this one. But the interesting part with Red Bull is it's only on the latter half of that body. So I'm curious on how that plays a role. And every team's trying to engineer this for themselves. And as I said, let's pick Aston Martin, and let me start off with the same air duct. The same top view that you end up seeing for Aston Martin, it's got this air duct flow going end to end, almost all the way through the cockpit as well, but stopping right at the driver's position.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, right? Like comparing both the Red Bull and Aston Martin, right? They both have a different kind of a grill, as you were putting it earlier, and I think it's probably like different philosophies in general, because I've seen two different kind of the cockpits as well. Like towards like some cockpits, some of them have a pretty fat behind, really thick, so to put it. But some have a much narrower back end, and I think this basically the grill kind of possibly is a way of just compensating for a narrower behind and letting the heat escape and also the air escape that's entering through the front inlets. So
true.
yeah,
it's going to be interesting how that engineering works out. But picking on this topic and moving to the next team, Aston Martin, they sport it in a very interesting way where they've got it all the way coming, to the cockpit seat where the driver's going to be there. So they've got like a longer vent. And at least on their top view, right? Like the difference doesn't show up. The only thing that could be affected and why they've got this design is, well, folks, I'm calling it front flaps, but whatever it's called, which are two, ears sort of thing, pointing towards your front wheels when you see it from the top view, those are a bit more elongated for both Red Bull and Aston Martin, and maybe that's got something to do with the amount of air that they take in and then need to throw out.
You're actually right. I think that seems like it, because you're right. As you say, those air intakes, basically air intake flaps, let's call it. I don't know. They, in fact, in both the Red Bulls, in fact, if you see the Alpha Tauri as well as the Red Bull and Aston Martin have much longer ones as compared to the McLaren and Haas. Interesting point. And though Alpha doesn't have the grille, right? And the Alpha Tauri doesn't have the grille.
Exactly. We'll come to Alpha Tauri, but they don't have the grille. Yes.
But if you see, they have a fat bottom as well.
They do.
As compared to the Red Bull. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's the engineering part that I'm really curious about, because looks like Red Bull and Aston Martin are playing similar games, but the B team on Red Bull is going for a different engineering for outlets in that case.
I think it makes perfect sense, right? Just hedging your bets.
True. On Aston Martin, I love how they've done their front wing, very clear branding without any, side skirt missing information or misplaced brand names. Aramco and Cognizant, very well placed throughout the body.
Yep. One thing which I really wanted to appreciate about the Aston Martin was that they got rid of BWT. I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to love the pink cars. I used to really like the Racing Point pink cars when they were there. But I hated the weird watermelon shading that they had. That was completely ruining the Aston Martin look. And I'm loving the fact that it's back to its former glory.
True. No, that is very true. Very true. I like this green. I mean, some people have been dissing this sort of whatever shade of green / metal tone it is, but yeah, I'm digging this for sure.
So I kind of know where that hate comes from. So I do kind of agree to some basis of it. So basically, a lot of people are saying, and I do agree, that the color that it looks right now is under ideal lighting conditions, and it looks great in these photographs. But when on track, when the race is going on, oftentimes the light is not really the best always. And the car looks a lot like a black Mercedes a lot of times.
On the track, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that's what people don't really like about this color. And maybe they should have changed it a little bit just so that it looks a little better on the track. But yeah, still I love the car regardless. And I think even last time, I think it was on the top of our list, right, for the best liveries. So it's still the same pretty much. In fact, improved. So I still love it. Not complaining.
Oh, by the way, what's Otmar up to? He's gone home. Has he found a new job or?
Yeah, he has.
What's he up to? He has?
I think he's going to Alpine, right?
Okay. I thought if he's probably unemployed, we bring him on as the third host here, but okay.
Yeah, I think he recently got replaced, right? By who is it? Mike Crack. Wow, man! I think Stroll needs some crack. Yep. So I think Mike Crack, he has a lot of experience under his belt. Like he was the team principal for Porsche WEC team, which everyone knows what great things they have been achieving at Le Mans. I think good prospect for Aston Martin, I guess, because Otmar, I'm not sure how good he was, because Aston Martin seemed like they have a lot of resources and still not making it right. So I guess it was the right time to change, especially with the new regulations and everything.
True. For folks who probably don't know much about us and maybe Sarang at this point, I want to ask Sarang some question. For your love of tires, talk to us about the slits on the side pods here.
Man, I don't know. It's very weird. Those slits somehow like invoke my triophobia, I guess. Man,
Right.
I don't know. Something about those slits, it just sits very uncomfortable with me. Especially on the top view.
Especially on the top view.
You know why?
Right?
I think I know why. Every time I see this, I imagine scraping my hand on the, while grating cheese or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's probably that.
But if you also see their top view, right? Like the side body on the rear is so taken back that even those rear tires feel like they're just gonna scrape through the body, and there's gonna be like a slice of rubber cheese on the pit every time this car moves.
You're right. Now that I look at it, I actually didn't notice it quite well earlier, because all other cars have a lot of distance, and Aston Martin, for some reason, has a lot of confidence in their tolerances. But you're right. I think
I'm worried. Like even if they brake or accelerate too hard, the G's are gonna take the body in such a way like the tires just fly off the back.
Oh, I think that's the new technology, man. I get it. Look at this. So basically, as soon as the race starts and they like accelerate, some part of that bodywork will basically fly out. So they lose some weight. So they get some weight advantage.
Wow.
As soon as the race starts, man, I love it.
That's a nice way to poke holes into the regulations, because while you started the race, you're still within regulation bounds. But then, you can't control what's happening after the race starts. So, sure. Oh, wow. That's smart.
Especially with Vettel spinning around, I really want to see how well it holds up.
Who's next? Yeah, let's talk about McLaren. I love what they're doing with their livery. The colors are popping out really well. There's just too much money, I feel, that Velo's given them. It's like everywhere. I see from the top there's Velo. I see from the side there's Velo. Probably they've written Velo on their underbelly too. I don't know. There's Velo everywhere.
Yep. But regardless of what the brands are written, I can't get my eyes off that blue, man. Like, I don't see anything else other than the blue for some reason.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I loved how they teased us with sort of like a glimpse of a different tone and shade of blue, but like, I forget what GP it was in 2021.
I think Monaco. I think it was Monaco.
Yeah, and then that tease was really well done.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved if they had that exact livery throughout the season, the Gulf livery, but still, I like this. It's like a good close second.
Yes.
Especially with the black. I think what really awesome that they have done is, if you remember some years ago when Alonso was there in McLaren, they had this orange black livery, which was also very good. I remember back then. And then there was this one time when they had this entirely papaya orange livery. And then they introduced a little blue, in the last 2 years, which was, I wasn't a fan of that blue. I don't know. I didn't like it much. But this blue and that black and this papaya orange, I think it's something. Like, I think it's the best of all their liveries come together to form this.
Yeah, I also am a fan of how they've used that black belt around like just below the head of the car, where the halo merges, and then that's become sort of like their branding ad spot, and then the rest of the car is more cleaner.
Yeah, I think, and there's a whole flow through the whole livery, I think, that a lot of other teams kind of have missed, I feel. in a lot of ways. Like think about Haas, it's just white. You can't really, like you can't see the curves of the car as such, which are
Yes.
really accentuated in the McLaren because they have used these three colors and also the flow that you kind of mentioned. I love it. And of course, I can't forget. I don't know if you saw during the launch when they just bought the lights up, those glow in the dark paints. Man,
No,
I love
I
that.
missed that.
You didn't see that? Okay. So basically they added some glow in the dark colors on the car, on the tires. So if you look at a side isometric
Right.
view of the car, man, it looks too good.
Interesting.
I really wonder if it's going to stay for night races. That would be some spectacle, man, for some.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you're right. That would, yeah. Yeah, you see like a bioluminescence stuff floating around the track. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Is this going to be the best car from like the five that are still not shown themselves?
Maybe. I think it's possible because Ferrari is. I have some good hopes from Ferrari this time. I don't know. Let's see.
They've also teased us with like a red and black combination.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right. I am.
So I
hope Mercedes doesn't end up doing like AMG again all throughout their livery.
Just throughout, just AMG.
Yeah. Who do we have left? Oh yeah, for sure. One item that's left, Alpha Tauri, out of these five. I think it good we picked like McLaren and Alpha Tauri next to each other because I feel like personally it's going from one extreme to the other. What the hell are they thinking with like this monochrome sort of look?
I think Alpha Tauri just blew themselves because year by year the ratio between the white and the blue has changed. Like they started off with an almost white car with a little blue in it, and then last year it was about 50-50, and now it's like 70-30. So we know what next year they're gonna have pretty much.
Yes. It's a well predicted move going into next year for sure.
Yeah, man.
But it's still, oh man, like their branding, it feels. Sure, Alpha Tauri going off of that side belly up when seen from that side view looks good. But I guess like for me, that's the only good part about this.
Yeah. I would agree. The top view as well, I think the front wing looks great. The way they have, they have no gaps at all between the lettering that all other teams are not able to achieve. So yeah, great about that. But again, like these are very minor things in the sense that the car still doesn't look good. It's weird. I don't know, that color combination I'm not really a fan of.
True. Also for their sponsors Flexbox, I think they got played.
Yes. Totally, man. If I was Flexbox, I would be asking for a refund right now.
And I didn't notice this, and I'm, folks, pretty sure you're gonna not see it the same way I didn't see it after Sarang mentioned this to me. Because of the side wing on the front wing, Flexbox actually looks like Xbox.
Xbox, right? Yeah, I think Microsoft got some free sponsorship at Alpha Tauri.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you, Sarang, and like we've got this image in front of our screens, which has a top view of all these five cars sitting in front of us. The only one difference I see noticeable for Alpha Tauri is that they sport a wider rear wing than the others. Maybe it's the white color that's making it look a bit more wider. But it sort of slightly goes deeper into their rear tires than at least for sure with Aston Martin, which starts and stops at the inner limits of the rear tire.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I think there are regulations on the depth of the wing. So I probably think it's just the white. But I do agree, like just looking at it, just eyeballing it, it does really feel
Right.
like it is a lot larger.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably just the shape and the color that's kind of tricking our eyes, probably. Uh, but yeah.
The other curious thing again, and like while looking at this top view, is Alpha Tauri as compared to like McLaren, Aston Martin, sure the digitized Haas and Red Bull, feels like has this sort of two-cylinder system, and this could again be like a top view color play sort of thing, which I'm leaning towards. But it looks like from the top view, at least on a livery standpoint, it looks like it's got this double barrel jet engine exhaust sort of look and feel.
Yeah, I think that again goes back to our previous discussion about the inlet wings or whatever that is, because I think they have to dissipate the air somehow, right? So I think since they don't have the grills like what the Red Bull and Aston Martin have, so I guess that's why I think they have a much thicker exhaust per se.
Yeah,
quite interesting, right? Well, I mean, this is what I really love about these car reveals, like just speculating about what's gonna happen, looking at the cars and stuff. It's pretty interesting.
It's so beautiful too, right? Like, man, folks, I just get, like, while you're listening to this, get a top view image which compares all of these 5 cars together. But again, like,
there's a Reddit post. I'll link it in the show notes. You can just check that.
Perfect. Like, the other thing that now I'm doing, and I'm playing this game of spot the 6 differences sort of thing at this point. But when you even see like the supports, the push rod pull rods that go into the front tire. Now check the difference between Alpha Tauri's nose to the front wheels versus how McLaren has a wider and a double beam support into their front tires, right?
Yeah. In fact, the McLaren's support beams almost look like they are wings, very honestly speaking.
Yes.
Isn't it? It feels like it's playing an aero role there, and they're not just there for the support.
Yes. Yeah. The Alpha Tauris is similar to Cognizant, Aston Martin. And then the Red Bulls are going slightly different from what their B team has. But it's interesting, man. Like, having these top views side by side puts things quite a lot into perspective on how they're playing around.
Yep.
What else? Any parting thoughts before we close this out for the second bite that will release in a few days with the remaining 5?
Well, I don't know. I'm just excited with the rest of the liveries, I guess, especially for the Ferrari, I think, as I just mentioned earlier, but also the Mercedes, actually, because I think they're going to revert back to their silver arrow colors, which I'm not a fan of. I hope not. That'll just make me hate the team more, if anything. Please don't do that.
I think it's slightly too late, Sarang, for you to ask them not to do that.
You never know. See, if Aston Martin can change their neon green strip to the pink strip, but I'm not giving them any money, unfortunately. So it might not work.
True.
Hey, Mercedes, I'll stop dissing you if you keep it black.
Sorry, that's all, Sarang. Please remember, I'm not gonna, no. Sarang's gonna stop on behalf of F1 Fanfiction to do that. I make no such promises. For someone who's listening, for that one person or a group that listens to us at FIA, it's been a fun week seeing all these liveries come out. I know you all have less part to play than the teams who've organized and done this, but sure, take the credit. Until the next so-called bite that we will release for the next 5 liveries, these are your hosts signing off.
Bye-bye.